Indiana has only 3 times been a #1 seed in the history of the NCAA tournament seeding process. And to think about where we were 24 months ago, being 4, 5 wins, whatever it was, away from even being eligible for the NIT, and to be where we are right now with a #1 seed is an amazing, amazing accomplishment for all the people in this program, the work that so many people have done to help make it happen day by day, but most importantly, the work that the players have done and are doing. And that's where I try to keep it in perspective just for a few minutes before we get to work, which we've already started up there. But it's been a long time, long, hard process to get a program back that's considered one of the best in the country. And because the program for decades has been considered one of the best in the country. But now to have a team and to have this program back there and have that seating behind it is fantastic. And now, you know, we go back to work, and the players will continue to rest up and get ready to go. I'm sure they'll be diving into films. They'll enjoy their night, which I want them to do. And like anything else that they've done since they've been here, they go in head first at getting better. And we're looking forward to being in Dayton, where there's so many opportunities for Hoosier fans to be there, you know, throughout the Midwest, really probably throughout the country, but especially throughout the Midwest. And as far as James Madison and LIU go, I haven't dove into the tape yet, but they seem to be 2 contrasting styles. But I do know enough about both of them to know that Coach Terry and Coach Brady are both excellent, excellent coaches. And no question about it. And they're fundamental. They've won in their leagues. They've won consecutive games. I mean, they've got on big runs in their league. You know, one team in James Madison is averaging in the 60s. LIU is averaging, I think, 79 points a game. James Madison is certainly one of the older teams that we will have faced, and I don't know where they stack up in the NCAA tournament as older teams, but there's quite a few 50-year seniors on that team. And the balance of both teams, just studying their numbers a little bit, goes to show that they've got a lot of different guys at different positions that can make plays. So we're looking forward to that, and our whole goal is to be as good as we can be this week, go into Dayton, win in Dayton, and take it from there.
Okay, first question. Kent, your thoughts on being in the East, first from a bracket standpoint, from the power of the bracket, and second, just the fact that it's not the West.
I think the fact that we're a #1 seed speaks for itself. There's only 4 of them, and we're one of them. And I think that's a big deal. I really do. I think, you know, the thing I like about Dayton is there's a great proximity, and we'll get a little bit more time in school than we might have gotten. And going back to school this week, we can use that. And it's like anything else. I mean, there's a lot of different roads and paths that you have to go through to get to your destination and your goals. And this is just one of them. But this team has done a very good job with that, constantly and consistently. And I think when you win in this league and you come back the way that they have over the last couple of years, you know, the storylines keep changing. You know, well, they couldn't win on the road. Well, yeah, we did. We went 7-2 this year. I mean, all those things. It's one thing after another. They just keep taking care of it. And so I think the bottom line is that happens because they really stay humble as to what they've got to do to get better at, and then they go out and get better at it. And I think that's what our key is right now. Nothing more than that.
Next question.
Coach, how was it different in watching the show this time? I mean, in observing your players, how was it different?
They were much looser. They were much more engaged and not concerned about cameras being in front of them and reactions. They had fun with it, and there wasn't a crazy jump around type of situation. But they took it all in and they had fun with every pairing. And I think it was a lot greater this year because we didn't come up first like we did a year ago, or in that first commercial, or first segment. So it was fun for them.
Dustin?
I thought you were putting it.
Zach?
I guess just knowing you won't know just yet who you're going to play on Friday. I mean, how much just already being locked into that sort of a process with the Big Ten tournament of kind of waiting to find an opponent, does that help much going into that Friday game?
Oh, I think it does. I think the bottom line last week is we were able to spend time on things that we really needed to improve upon. And it was certainly going to help us last week, but it's going to help us over a period of time. I mean, I think the bottom line is you're self-scouting your team as much as possible. And certainly it'll change a little bit this week because we won't have the familiarity, obviously, with these teams that you have with the Big Ten teams. But it still goes back to the same thing. It really comes down to how you're playing, what you're doing, what you're trying to capitalize on. And there's certain things that we definitely need to work on this week, and that's been the focus today, last night, as coaches, as we've prepared to get ready to get back to work with these guys, and that's where it'll remain.
Jeff, on the TV show pre-game or pre-selection show, you mentioned Tom Izzo's quote about you'd rather play the Lakers.
He said that, though.
Right,
Yeah,
reference what
yeah.
he said. Just how much are you looking forward to having the chance to play somebody outside of Big Ten?
I think it's a whole new season. I mean, it truly is. It's a new energy level, and so the league is hard. It's a great league, but it's just the trick is, can you keep getting better? It's not like all of a sudden the things we didn't do well yesterday will just totally be magically back to where they need to be, and it's not like the things that we did do well over the last couple of days will just be there if we don't keep getting better at it. But the whole energy level of going to play against somebody different in a different environment in a tournament like this, the unknown is a great force multiplier. There's no question about it, and I think they'll feel that. Well, I think there's some of that, but you got to remember, we play Yogi Ferrell, we play Hannah Perea, we play Jeremy Hollowell. Those guys haven't been through it yet. I mean, you want it to be fresh. I want it to be exciting for these guys. I really do. They've earned it. I mean, they've done everything that's been asked of them and more, and they're held to an incredibly high standard because of the way the season started, individually and collectively, and that'll only benefit them down the road. But right now, they've earned it, and I don't think anybody's running around taking a deep breath and doing cartwheels over anything. I think there's a business approach and business mindset to them, but I want them to watch that, and I said this to them when we landed, watch this like you were when you were a little kid. I mean, because that's why one of the reasons you work so hard is to get in these situations. And first NCAA tournament game I ever saw in person was in the Dayton Arena, and I was sitting 2 or 3 rows from the very top of the building and watching Michigan State play Washington. I'll never forget it. You had Christian Velp and Detlef Schrempf and Scott Skiles and Larry Pollock and Ben Tower and all those guys. I mean, Darrell Johnson was unbelievable. You know, and every time you watch the NCAA selection show, it should be like the first time you ever see it, because you're never guaranteed if you're getting there, okay, at the beginning of the year. So many things have to go right. And then to go after a year that we have had and see yourself up there as a #1 seed, that's special for them. But I don't worry about that, because at no point in time have they ever worked like they were special. We haven't always been as totally focused as we need to be. But they don't work like they're special, because they weren't. That's not how this got built. I mean, if this didn't get built with entitlement, it got built with a lot of incredible work, and I think that's how they'll approach it.